What's going on, Duke fans? Welcome back to another edition of Talking Ball. It's Jack here, and today we've got some news. First, let's start off with the big one, which is Shelton Henderson has decommitted from Duke. One of four top 25 recruits that was supposed to be coming to Duke next season. Now that class moves down to three. Henderson, a 6'6", 220-pound wing from Texas, put up some really good numbers in high school. Was expected to, I think, have a spot in the rotation. I don't think the expectation was for him to start. The rumors seem to be that he is heading to Miami to play with Coach Jay Lucas, who he went to the same high school as, and Coach Lucas was his primary recruiter when Coach Lucas was at Duke. A lot of people, a lot of rumors, when Coach Lucas took the job at Miami, thought that the Boozer twins would be the Duke recruits that would decommit and head with Coach Lucas to Miami. And turns out, after all, it may be Shelton Henderson. It's also interesting that the Boozer twins coach, high school coach, is also now an assistant for Miami. So lots of moving pieces there. We'll have to see if that's where Shelton Henderson ends up going. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this so far. Next up, Nate Ament looks like he is now going to be headed to Tennessee. Now, the saga of Nate Ament has been going on for quite some time. So until that's locked in, I don't think we can fully, say anything. But just giving an update as to where he's at. There also have been some. I don't even want to go into that. So we got to see now where the rest of the guys end up going. My thoughts on both of those moves last night into this morning would be that I think there are more Blue Devils from last year that are going to return than these guys expected. With the news that Caleb Foster is coming back, we'll have to see what happens with Darren Harris and Tyrese Proctor and Isaiah Evans. I think those three guys are somewhat of what has caused those other two guys to maybe look in other directions, even though they don't quite play the same position. And then I think Nicholas Kamenia showed some things where he might play more minutes than people may have thought. But I think that is maybe going a little bit too far. We're going to have to follow day by day. Now, it took, I don't know how long it's been since the Final Four, but it took over a week at the very least before anything started to happen. Now, Khan announces he's going to the NBA. Caleb is coming back. Now we get Shelton Henderson decommitting, which is kind of reminiscent of what happened with Mackenzie Mbako, which is a good place for me to transition here. Mackenzie Mbako, the former Duke commit, who decommitted after finding out Kyle Filipowski would come back. I'm not exactly sure which happened first there, but anyways, he is now going to be playing at Texas A&M. And former Duke player TJ Power, who spent a season with Duke, then a year with Virginia, is now going to play at Penn. So some former Blue Devils and Blue Devil commits making their moves in the transfer portal. Also, Christian Reeves, after spending his last season with Clemson, will be moving on to the College of Charleston. So we've got some former Duke guys making moves. Have to see how the rest of this portal transfer portal plays out. We've got 8 more days for guys to enter the portal, and at that point, we will have a good idea of at least who will be coming back. Unless they go to the NBA draft, and they'll have more time to enter the NBA draft. I am curious if any of this has to do with the lack of decision from Cooper Flagg, but I think honestly that's more wishful thinking than anything else. I do think the Blue Devils are going to need 3 players from the transfer portal. 2 players for sure. They're going to need another, bigger forward, like 6'7", 6'8" forward. And then I think they're going to need another big. I would have said another guard, but with Foster coming back and potentially Proctor or Evans, I think with Caden Boozer, they'll be just fine at the guard spot. But it also depends on what happens with Darren Harris. So a lot more news to come from the Blue Devils. We'll be covering here on Talking Ball. Want to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think are of these latest moves, with Ament looking like he's going to Tennessee and Henderson looking like he is now going to be playing for Coach Lucas at Miami?